people are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Angel Reese said fans tune in to women's basketball because of her. But when the Chicago Sky played at LSU, her old stomping grounds, only 6,300 people showed up in a 13,000-seat arena. That's less than half full. Now compare that to Caitlin Clark, whose preseason games sold out in minutes. We've got the photos Angel Reese probably doesn't want out there. Rows of empty seats, even though tickets were just $15. Remember when she said she was the reason people were watching the game? Well, the numbers are telling a very different story.
So I think it's time to finally, end the argument. End the argument that there is any sort of other needle mover that is even remotely close to Caitlin Clark in the WNBA.
Let's break down why this reality check might be hitting Angel Reese harder than any block she's ever made on the court.
They didn't open the upper bowl. They did not open the upper bowl, and the lower bowl was half empty.
That's right, and now pictures from Angel Reese's big homecoming game at LSU are all over social media. And let's be honest, they tell a story Angel probably wishes stayed hidden. This was supposed to be her big moment, the Chicago Sky rookie returning to the place where she became a champion, where the fans once cheered her every move, where her legend was born. You'd expect a packed house ready to welcome their hometown star back in style, but that's not what happened.
The Chicago Sky go into LSU, the home court of Angel Reese. Man, it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit.
But when game day finally came around, what happened was honestly hard to believe. That 13,000-seat arena, it wasn't even close to full. Only 6,300 fans showed up to see Angel Reese play. Let that sink in. Over 6,700 empty seats, just sitting there, staring back at the cameras. More empty spots than filled ones. And the photos from inside the arena, straight up embarrassing. Huge sections with no one in them at all. The entire upper bowl completely shut down because there just weren't enough people to open it.
In case you were wondering, I did do the math. How many seats were actually left last night? Over 6,800. In a 13,000 capacity arena, there was over 6,800 seats still available. And some people were saying, by the way, that literally there were some $15 tickets out there.
What makes this whole thing even more wild is the price of the tickets, just $15. That's basically what you'd pay for a fast food combo. For the cost of a burger, fries, and a drink, fans could have watched a WNBA star who's constantly saying she's changing the game, and still, people didn't show up. Let's really break down how bad it was. They needed 6,667 fans just to hit half capacity, just half, and they couldn't even hit that. They came up about 300 people short of the halfway mark. That's not just disappointing, it's flat out embarrassing, especially for someone like Angel Reese who talks so boldly about her impact on the sport.
It was at under 50% capacity, and obviously, look, the area of the crowd where the TV cameras are being shown was full. But it was under 50% capacity. There's no one in the upper bowl, and it's half empty the other one, which is not ideal.
Did you catch how the broadcast kept using super tight camera angles? That wasn't a creative choice. It was to avoid showing all the empty seats. But social media wasn't fooled. Fans online were posting photos that told the real story. Huge gaps in the crowd, entire sections with nobody there. You can't cover that up when thousands of empty seats are staring right back at the camera.
Nobody showed up to this sucker. Nobody. Let me just blow this. Look at that. I noticed it right off the bat. Look, number one, look at all the purple seats down here in this lower bowl section. And then the entire top bowl, forget about it. Forget about it.
Now you might be thinking, what's the big deal? But here's where it gets interesting. Angel Reese has been constantly saying she's the reason more people are watching women's basketball. She's been claiming she's growing the game and pulling in new fans. But those empty seats, they tell a totally different story. The pictures don't lie. They show exactly how many people actually cared enough to come watch in person.
There wasn't anybody there. This was it wasn't even half full.
The actual attendance at Angel Reese's homecoming game says it all. She's not the massive draw she claims to be. Just 6,300 fans showed up in a 13,000 seat arena. That's flat out embarrassing for someone who talks so confidently about her influence on the game. The vibe in the building? Nowhere close to her college days. The energy was low, the crowd was thin, and it didn't even feel like an LSU event. The broadcast tried to play it off, but you could feel how quiet and empty that arena really was.
Right here, this was last night's attendance. 6,373 fans showed up to watch Angel Reese and Haley Van Lith. And by the way, she did get a very good pop.
And don't forget, this wasn't just any game for Angel Reese. This was her big return to LSU, the school where she won a national title, the place where she became a star. The crowd there should have been her strongest support system, but if Angel can't pack seats in her own college arena, then where can she? If the same fans who cheered her through a championship didn't even show up, what does that say about her real star power? The proof is right there. Photos, videos, and rows of empty seats. It all paints the same picture. Angel Reese isn't pulling the crowd she says she does. And this homecoming made that painfully clear.
Look at all those empty seats, folks. That is crazy as hell. I mean, empty, all that. Never mind all this. They could have put black tarps over it. Look at that. Look at that. Look, the WNBA still got problems. They got problems over and beyond one player. I don't know what they do about it.
While Angel Reese was playing in front of all those empty seats at LSU, something completely different was happening with the other rookie everyone's buzzing about. I'm talking about Caitlin Clark. You won't believe the huge contrast in how fans are reacting to these two players. The difference is like night and day.
I'm making this video because at the end of the day, we're still seeing like all of this like stuff online about, oh, you know, there's so many needle movers, like Caitlin Clark is not the needle.
Caitlin Clark's preseason game with the Indiana Fever didn't just have a decent crowd, it was a complete sellout. Every seat in the arena was filled with fans eager to see her play. From top to bottom, the place was buzzing with excitement as people lined up to watch Caitlin Clark in action. There wasn't an empty seat in sight. Now compare that to the other rookie. One can't even fill half an arena in her own college hometown where she won a championship just a year ago, while the other is selling out arenas everywhere she goes. Fans are literally scrambling for tickets to see Caitlin Clark play. It's clear, one rookie is a global sensation and the other, well, let's just say the contrast couldn't be more obvious.
We can finally stop. I think we can finally stop the arguments. We can stop the whole there's more than one needle mover as far as attendance goes as an individual. I do think there are teams that people show up to watch. Like, I think the Aces do a pretty decent job. I think the Liberty, in fairness to them, do a pretty decent job. But when we're talking about individuals, there's only one that people are going to go out and watch. And it's not Haley Van Lith, and it's most definitely not Angel Reese.
And here's where it gets even wilder. When tickets dropped for Caitlin Clark's preseason game at Carver Hawkeye Arena, they didn't take days to sell out. They didn't even take hours. Those tickets were completely gone in just 27 minutes. That's less than half an hour for every single seat to be snatched up. Fans were scrambling to grab them like it was the last chance they'd ever get.
Not even 50% sold out is crazy. Carver Hawkeye sold out 15,000 in 27 minutes.
Want to know what fans are doing just to see Caitlin Clark play? They're shelling out hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars on the secondary market just for preseason games. Think about that for a moment. Preseason games. These aren't playoff matchups, and they're not championship games. They're essentially practice sessions, yet people are dropping big money just to be in the building while she plays. Now, let's compare that to Angel Reese's situation. Her tickets were going for as low as $15, and even at that bargain price, people still weren't biting. That's cheaper than a movie ticket in most places today. For less than the cost of catching the latest Marvel film, you could have watched a WNBA preseason game featuring the national champion herself, Angel Reese, and yet people still passed.
I mean, when they would sell out, it was because the Indiana Fever came to town.
The Indiana Fever has started booking games in much larger arenas now. Why? Because the demand to see Caitlin Clark play is so massive that their usual venue just can't fit everyone who wants to watch. They've literally had to find bigger spaces to accommodate the huge crowd eager to see her on the court. That's what it looks like when you're a true star.
The needle is Caitlin Clark, and you can add realistically whatever you want. You can add Hailey Van Lith, who's a huge name. Like, say what you want about Hailey Van Lith, she is an absolutely massive name as far as the WNBA is concerned. So you can add her to the Chicago Sky, and it's still, and her going back to LSU, albeit like Hailey Van Lith played 1 year at LSU and she was terrible, and it's going to be empty. It is going to be literally empty.
This huge gap in fan interest brings up a big question we need to address. Who's really bringing in new viewers for women's basketball? The numbers speak for themselves. Ticket sales don't lie. Packed arenas don't lie. When you compare attendance, it's crystal clear. Caitlin Clark is the only one truly moving the needle in women's basketball right now. She's selling out arenas in minutes, while Angel Reese can't even fill half a gym, even with discounted tickets. Those are just the facts.
Continue to say, look, Angel has got a career as a content creator, as an influencer, Insta face.
Before you start thinking this is all about college loyalty, let me stop you right there. Caitlin Clark is selling out WNBA venues she's never even played in before. These aren't just Iowa fans following her around. These are basketball fans from everywhere, eager to see her play. On the flip side, Angel Reese couldn't even fill her own championship home court where she should have the most support. The numbers speak for themselves. The ticket sales tell the story. The packed arenas versus the empty seats tell the story. One rookie is changing the game and attracting more fans than ever, while the other is realizing that social media followers don't always turn into actual fans in the seats. And that's the cold hard truth, whether Angel wants to admit it or not.
Oh, people watch for Me Too argument is age bad, and that's an argument that I'm like, okay, yeah, it makes not entirely false, but like there are levels. There are levels.
Remember when Angel Reese made that bold statement online about why people watch women's basketball? It took over social media last season. Angel didn't just hint at her importance to the game. She straight up declared that she was a huge reason why people are tuning in to watch women's hoops. Angel said it loud and clear. The reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of Me Too. Those are her exact words. No misquotes, no context twist. That's what Angel Reese actually said. She was essentially claiming that she's just as vital to the sport's viewership as anyone else in the game.
Angel Reese fans are not basketball fans, and they are proving it. They proved it last night without a shadow of a doubt.
Now we've got the real numbers in front of us, and they tell a totally different story from what Angel Reese has been claiming. The attendance stats from her LSU homecoming game don't back up her words at all. In fact, the numbers fall way short of supporting her claims about her impact on the game.
Angel decided to come out, and she said, I'm going to play the victim. Or, well, the victim, yeah, and the villain. People are watching for Me Too. No, they're not.
Think about it for a moment. If Angel Reese is really the star she says she is, why couldn't she even fill half of her home arena during her big return? This wasn't just any game, it was her homecoming, the place where she should have had the most fans, the most support, and the most excitement to see her play. Yet half of the arena remained empty.
Interesting. So everybody is watching for Angel 2. This arena has a capacity of 13,215 fans. In case you're wondering, in order to get that place half full, you need 6,607 fans to show up.
Here's the strange part about all this. Angel Reese has millions of followers on social media, millions of people who supposedly care about what she's posting, what she's saying, even what she's wearing. But when it was time for her to actually step onto the court and play basketball, where were they? Nowhere to be found. It's almost like they're only interested in her Instagram, not in watching her actually play the game.
So the narrative about people are watching for Me Too, people are showing up for Me Too, that narrative is, that's don't let anybody try to blow smoke up your ass
The numbers just don't line up with the story Angel Reese has been telling. Only 6,300 fans showed up for her highly anticipated homecoming game, which is more typical for a regular season college game, not a professional return for someone who claims to be boosting viewership across the entire sport. If Angel is really bringing all these new fans to women's basketball like she says, then where were they when she returned to LSU? This gap between what Angel claims and what the attendance numbers show raises serious doubts about whether she's more of a social media influencer than an actual basketball star. Is she famous for playing basketball, or is she just famous for being famous? Because the evidence is starting to suggest it's the latter. People seem way more interested in her social media drama than in her actual skills on the court.
People are furious about that. They only moved the Fever games today. But I have to say, like, this is to be expected.
Angel Reese's claims about bringing attention to the game have been completely shattered by these attendance numbers. The empty seats speak volumes, way louder than any Instagram post could. You can say anything online, but when it comes to actual attendance, the truth is impossible to hide. And in Angel's case, the numbers are telling a very different story than what she's been putting out there.
It was empty. There were 6,000 people there, and the arena holds 14,000. Like, it got less viewers than most LSU home games. Like, less people watched at the most LSU home games. And it was the homecoming game of arguably the best player for the Chicago Sky.
It's starting to seem like Angel Reese is more of a social media influencer in a basketball uniform than the game-changing star she claims to be. She's got the followers, the brand deals, and all the online buzz. But what's missing? The ability to get people to actually show up and watch her play basketball.
It genuinely does seem like a lot of the Angel fans are fans of Angel as a celebrity rather than, like, they're not even watching the games. Whatever about putting their money where their mouth is and going to the games, they're not even watching the games. Fans are traveling from all over the world to watch the Fever. And it just sums it all up. It does just sum it all up. Like, there should be no comparison in impact with anyone not named Caitlin Clark, because we saw in Notre Dame that Arike going back and Paige playing, and it was, I think, the second least attended Notre Dame game in Notre Dame for women's basketball all year. So the Notre Dame team obviously gets more people.
The truth is starting to come through now. All those big claims about bringing in new fans to the game are looking pretty weak when she can't even fill half an arena in her own college hometown. The reality of those empty seats at LSU is hitting Angel Reese's statements harder than any block or rebound she's ever made on the court, and no amount of social media posts can change that.
I expected them to not sell out, but half, honestly, I thought, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I thought they'd put 9 or 10,000 in. I didn't think they'd sell out, but I thought they put 9 or 10,000. This underperformed my already under targeted evaluation of the situation. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Take a look at those photos from LSU. You can clearly see all those empty seats from Angel Reese's homecoming game. There's no way to ignore it. The fans just didn't show up. That right there tells you everything you need to know about who's really driving new viewers to women's basketball. While Caitlin Clark is selling out arenas in minutes, with fans paying hundreds for tickets, Angel couldn't even fill half of her home court with $15 tickets. That's about the cost of a burger and fries. The truth is right there in front of us in the battle for who's truly making an impact on women's basketball. Those empty seats at LSU have already given us the answer.